Hey, Dave here from Mongrel Motorsports. Making this video because I ran into an unusual problem with the brakes on my 66 Falcon, and I thought maybe some other people might be running into the same issue, so I thought I'd make a quick video about it. So I had no brake lights in this car and tested the switch as best I could, but this is a very heavy spring, so I wound up taking it out of the car, and I just made a jumper wire and ran the jumper wire over these two terminals in the plug in the car, and the lights went on. So, okay, bad switch, right? Well, no, not really. So I wound up buying a replacement switch. This is the original one, which I believe is probably still good. But I bought a replacement, good old standard ignition, and put it in the car, and still no brake lights. And that was a real head scratcher, because how can that be? So if I had the switch disconnected from the pedal and manually operated it, the brake lights would go on. Aha. Well, there isn't much in this system that can be amiss. So what could it possibly be? Well, let me show you. So I recently replaced this master cylinder. Now, recently was a couple of months ago, but did I check the brake lights since installing this? Probably not. So that was the only thing that had changed, and I couldn't understand why the brake lights were not coming on with the new switch. The test's fine, and so we bring you to my handy diagram here. So the pedal goes in here, the activation part. This is a metal tab here where my thumb is. See that? That's a contact area there right in the center. And then the pedal pushes against this and compresses the spring. And when it does that, it activates the light circuit. Okay, so pedal connects here. Well, I'm pushing the pedal, the light's not coming on, but if I manually operate the switch with my hand, disconnected from the pedal, everything works. What's the problem? All right, well, the problem is that dopey master cylinder. So the pedal, pardon me for not being ready, but the pedal is in here, right? And then the rod goes up to the master cylinder over here. So when you push on the pedal, it brings this part of the master cylinder with it and goes back, pushes against this metal tab, and then compresses the spring, and the switch goes on. The problem is that this piece made onto the shaft for the master cylinder is not made correctly. It does not have enough material on this edge. You have to fill this gap between the switch portion and the master cylinder portion. And it's not much. You can try just using a simple zip tie and running it down in through there and see if that fixes it, if you're running into this problem. Now, this is not durable enough to last. So what I wound up doing was making a small metal shim that fits inside this area here. And if it winds up not wanting to stay in position, because right now it's just sitting in there doing its thing, but if the friction fit doesn't hold it, I'm figuring I'd just epoxy it to this spring portion here, and it'll work that way. But after putting that metal shim in there and filling up this little bit of space in here, and again, it's not very thick, it's only as thick as a zip tie, okay? That fixed the problem and made the brake lights work as they should. So, more junk Chinese parts infiltrating the collector car hobby. This is a Rock Auto Maiden Chinesium master cylinder, and it's not made to the same specs as good old Ford Motor Company specified. So that was a puzzler, but we got it figured out, we got it fixed, and I thought I'd share that in case anybody else runs into the same problem. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, leave a comment below. If you'd like to see more on the 66 Falcon, check out my other videos. I got a whole series on this car's resurrection. Thanks for watching.